They had this cool art for the nuggets. That's it. And then all the fries and some of the bags, like some of the bags have art on it, but I haven't got one. It just says McDonald's.
If you don't know what McDonald's is, shame on you for being an anime fan.
Yeah.
In the light novel, he's just constantly being all like, man, that girl's kind of cute actually, like, whew. And in the anime, he is not that. Hello everybody and welcome to Life is Daijoubu, episode 46. Today we're going to be talking about... Okay, give me the title. You don't have it down. It's to me... Or it's from every you that loved me the most to me that loved all the bits and parts of you the best.
Perfect. To every you I've loved before, and to me the one who loved you.
That's what we're going to be talking about today.
It's a movie duology.
Yeah, a double pack movie feature where you get the VHS and you put it in, and then after you finish the movie, you flip the VHS over and put it back in.
and watch it in reverse as it rewinds.
That's how those work, right? I watch Totoro every single week, and I know. Trust me.
Cassette tapes.
Wait, can you do that? Cassette tapes? Oh yeah, they do. Because I remember listening back in the day. I'd listen to Harry Potter, and I'd flip them over, and it's interesting. But yeah, we're talking about those movies. We're also going to be talking about the news as well, and a little bit brief about our seasonal anime. I feel like the news is going to be the biggest part of this beginning. We don't have a lot to say about the seasonal anime because, spoiler alert, next episode will be the seasonal review. This season kind of flew by, didn't it?
Yeah.
Gosh, yeah, it did. Wow.
It feels like literally just 4 episodes ago that we were doing the season preview.
Yeah.
Which is true. That is how many episodes it's been. So it's been about a month, it feels. But yeah, so next time we're doing the seasonal review, so look forward to that. But we will talk a little bit briefly about some of the shows that we basically haven't talked about this entire season. But before we do that, without further ado, we got some news to talk about. We're going to start with the first biggest news point, I would say. And it's that Akira Toriyama has passed away. The creator of Dragon Ball, the very talented and famous artist who's done things like Chrono Trigger.
Dragon's Quest.
Yeah, Dragon's Quest. That's a big one. Very influential to the world of anime/manga. And his memory is definitely going to be missed. His memory will last, and he will be missed. There we go. And I got to say, when I woke up the morning that he passed away, my whole Twitter feed most of my Twitter feed is artists. Yeah. And so my whole Twitter feed was just everybody just essentially talking about what that person has done on their life to themselves personally, because they are artists. Mm-hmm. And so it was very, very cool to see the impact that this one person has had on the world, essentially.
It was sad. I was in the Discord with a few of our buddies, and we were just talking. It was probably like 11:30, and then one of our buddies was like, "No, everybody shut the F up." And then he read it to us, and he said that he passed. They were both shocked. I mean, I think the whole world's shocked, but they were shocked and sad. And yeah, that's crazy how much influence one man can have on people.
Yeah.
He wasn't necessarily super old, but he was also getting there. And as we know, mangakas kind of work themselves to death. Because both they get terrible deadlines, which are a shame, but also because they also really enjoy their job, from what I can tell. And so they kind of do it. They kind of work themselves to the bone, essentially.
Yeah.
But yeah, so very sad, but the great legacy left he's leaving behind, without a doubt. Yeah. So that was I wanted to lead with that because it's the kind of more somber tone, but we can move into things. We do have one more that's like kind of a somber-ish if you care. And we'll go to that one next, and we'll actually hold on. We'll end with that one. It's not super sad, but it's also kind of like, dang. Whew, it's been a while. Yeah. Anyway, so we're going to just run through the ones that I found. So we got One Punch Man Season 3 is finally resurfaced as it's the credits essentially have been released, and it will be done by JC Staff again. Any thoughts on that?
I mean, they've gotten better. since between 2 and 3, but I don't get why Madhouse still doesn't do it. They make a bunch of anime and they make it like I've seen some really bad looking shows from Madhouse, but then when they do good, they do good. I don't know why they're not doing One Punch Man anymore, but
I feel like One Punch Man is popular enough to get a really good studio behind it.
yeah, like why isn't Madhouse still doing it? And it just I don't get it.
I've got an unpopular opinion. I think JC Staff isn't bad anymore.
Yeah.
Even during like One Punch Man season 2, like every now and then you could tell, but like I didn't think they were the worst. And like Thane said a little bit ago, that they've definitely gotten better. Their studio has refined its art a little bit, I would say. And there's been some shows I've watched I didn't even realize looked bad.
Yeah.
And I don't think they did because I didn't realize. I guess it's all subjective, right? But that kind of defines the subjectivity. Anyway, so yeah, One Punch Man season 3. There's still no date or year for when that's gonna be. Just I imagine soon if
They
they're
released a
releasing the
trailer.
staff. Oh, they did release a
Yeah.
trailer. So I imagine within a year's time. So maybe like next winter season. Anyway, next up this is an interesting thing, and it's that Kagurabachi is getting the physical English release, which is incredibly fast for manga to get a physical release in English.
Yeah.
It's not the fastest. I think the fastest before this was Samurai 8 by Masashi Kishimoto. And as many of you might know, Samurai 8 was not a very popular manga. I think it was the name that kind of pushed that. So that's why this one's very interesting to me, is that this doesn't have a huge name. If anything, the reason why this manga is as popular is because memes.
Yeah.
Memes essentially got this manga to be printed in English months before than it probably should have. But hey, maybe this sets a new standard going forward for manga. Because, I mean,
Yeah.
in Japan, they get their volumes probably 3 months after like the first chapter releases, because they have to get a couple chapters in and then they can compile them. So if that ends up being the case with English manga, I think that could be good. I think that's a cool step forward.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's a lot easier to support the mangakas that way, because I feel like there's, just based upon living not in Japan, not everything gets released where it's easily accessible.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I mean, like, this is how they make their money. They don't really make their money from the compiled weekly chapters.
Right.
What were you going to say, then?
Speaking of living in Japan, I saw a trailer. Mother 3 on Nintendo Switch Online, only in Japan.
Yeah. No translation.
Love
Official,
it.
anyway.
Gotta love it.
Next up is that High Dive got a revamp to their website and mobile app. They still have not revamped their TV application, which is disappointing for me because that's where I watch my animes, on the big TV. That said, I did check out their website, and it is a lot better. It is far better. I really hope that eventually they make a new TV app or just revamp the current one, because it is still garbage. But if the website and app are any indication, I think it's got a good potential going forward.
That's cool.
I really like the idea that Crunchyroll gets more competition, especially with the fact that the Funimation buyout and the absorption of that. So here's to more more competition for Crunchyroll, because that's also not a great player. Next up is an anime announcement. This is an interesting one, and I brought it up specifically because of Thane. And it's that the video game Sakuna of Rice and Ruin is getting an anime adaptation.
Wow.
What do you think
It's
of
actually
that?
a pretty good story, but as far as video game adaptations go, it's like 50-50. Like, or you can get a really solid one, you can get absolute gobshite one.
Seen a few of those.
Yeah.
Is that like
a few of those?
goblin poop? Is that what that word means?
Oh no, it's some British gobshite.
Oh, they say that? That's a
Yeah.
British thing? I didn't hear it in Xenoblade, so
Yeah.
I wouldn't know. Okay, so the last bit of news that we have is like I said, it's a little bit more on the sad side, and I'm curious to see how you guys will take it if you've not seen it already. But it's the fact that Warner Brothers Discovery is shutting down Rooster Teeth.
I mean, I saw it coming a long time ago, so I'm not too sad. I mean, it's sad for some people, but it's like it was inevitable since I think 2021, they've just been in a steep decline. And yeah, several projects are shutting down. I'm pretty sure Funhouse is shutting down. They're probably going to rebrand.
Everything is shutting down.
Everything
is shutting down, save for their podcasting network.
So I'm pretty sure Crunchyroll, since they had like a stake in Ruby, they're probably going to snag that up.
Yeah, essentially, from what I understand, Warner Brothers was like putting up franchises up for sale.
Yeah,
to an extent.
Like Red versus Blue, if that's still going, they're probably going to sell that off. Or at least the rights. Microsoft will probably buy that. I don't know, maybe. And then I know there's a show called Camp, and all their other animated shows that'll probably like get bought by maybe Crunchyroll. Maybe they'll just take those up
if they want them. I mean, like Genlock wasn't even that popular, from what I understand.
Yeah, if they want them. I know Ruby's still kind of popular, but even though that one's also been on decline, but. Yeah, the people were really sad about Funhouse going, and Funhouse was like a kind of a let's play like comedy channel, and they were just doing their own thing, and everyone was there was a live stream where it was like, yeah, we're saying goodbye. It's like, oh, all the groups gonna make a new business and rebrand, but like, yeah, that kind of sucks. Also, I saw a video of the guy who used to own Screw Attack, Stuttering Craig. He sold it to Full Screen, which was bought by Warner Brothers. And then on his podcast, he had said, I want it back. I want to buy it back. It's like, yeah, that'd be cool if Screw Attack came back if he bought it. Also, Death Battle. They're probably going to have to, if all those assets are sold, they're probably going to have to rebrand too if they want to continue.
Yeah, I saw the guy that started Death Battle post on Twitter that he was willing to buy it back as well.
Oh, yeah. Just, Craig?
I don't know his name.
Yeah.
I just knew he was
they're probably going to buy
back.
In the
comments.
if they want those IPs back, they probably have to buy it back or rebrand.
I feel like it's tough with content like that for companies to just buy it because, and maybe I'm just speaking for myself, but I feel like most people are drawn to the people behind the content, like with Red versus Blue, or I've always equated it to like if PewDiePie were to sell off his channel, would people watch? It's PewDiePie's channel. If he would to sell it off and he's like, okay, there's my channel, I'm not going to be on it anymore.
That's what Lucas Cruikshank did with his Fred channel. He sold it to Disney.
Was he still on it?
No.
Did it do well?
No.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That said, I think Mr. Beast could get away with it. He obviously is the face, but like I bet he could transfer the face to somebody else. It's almost just like the brand Mr. Beast has been built up enough where he has the ability to transfer it if he really wants to.
He probably could. And I know Matt Pat's doing something similar with his transition, and I guess we'll see how well that does.
Yeah. Is he just... I don't actually know anything about the Matt Pat stuff. I know he's retiring, but...
Yeah, he's still going to be a part of all 4 of his shows. But he's just not going to be the face. He's not going to be in camera anymore. He said he wants to take a back seat and essentially be a dad. But he's slowly been like waning off and putting other people in front and getting his audience used to having him not there. But I don't know. Well, like I said, I think that people are more drawn to the content creator and not necessarily just the channel itself.
Yeah.
I see.
Also, he had his last theory posted last week.
Was it Five Nights at Freddy's?
He actually had Scott Cawthon in the video. I just kind of skimmed through the video. I didn't really know what it was about. But, yeah, he just had his last game theory.
To me, I think Rooster Teeth leaving is sad. Because I would say my YouTube content essentially had Rooster Teeth as one of the foundations throughout my entire, probably since like junior high on. Maybe even probably junior high, not earlier. Basically, since I started playing Xbox Live, like 7th grade, 6th grade is when I got into YouTube, and Rooster Teeth was essentially just always there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I basically grew up watching Red versus Blue. I say grew up, but like I was probably 12 to 14 when I first started watching it. But yeah, I watched all of Red versus Blue back in the day, got into Ruby and all that. And not to mention just like their other stuff that Rooster Teeth would do. They had a bunch of other little tiny shows and stuff, the little Let's Plays and stuff that they would have. I had some friends in high school that we would basically bond over Rooster Teeth. And so it was really interesting to be thinking back about all those days where I would just hang out with those people talking about the Rooster Teeth things. I had one buddy that we even talked about potentially going to the Rooster Teeth convention that they would do in Austin, Texas every year. We never did, but that was one of the things we thought about. And even now, like, there was a good portion when I was watching or listening to their podcast still pretty much every single week as it would come out. I definitely stopped watching after Bertie Burns, one of the big guys, left the podcast. But every now and then I'd pull it up. But for the most part, like, I was pretty devoted to that podcast up until then. And then the last thing for me was Ruby. Like, I had watched Ruby every season as it came out, essentially. I mean, like, I'd probably like wait a month or two after it released, but so I could just binge the whole thing. But I mean, I was caught up on the show. Is it good? No. It's just one of those trash that you can't look away from. So it's sad to see all this stuff gone for me personally, but it was almost a product of its time, right? Like it was almost a long time coming at this point.
The funny thing is that Rooster Teeth started with Red vs. Blue, which was a machinima, and then it kind of
define machinima. Do you mean like the actual channel machinima?
Machine cinema.
Like the actual definition of it. Yeah. Okay, got it. Yep.
And then with that, the content group Machinima came around, and then like with all that, like eventually they shut down under Full Screen. Full Screen has all their content locked behind a channel, and then Moist Critical's like, hey, I'll buy all that content since you guys aren't using it, but he hasn't struck a deal yet. So it's like the fact that companies just have content, like internet content, like locked behind a wall, and like someone wants to buy it or release it. It's like, why do you got to keep that locked in?
Yeah, I saw a bunch of people in the comments saying things like, make sure you download all of your favorite Rooster Teeth stuff because a lot of it might just end up blipped out of existence. So
I think that's another thing too. Just going back to how Rooster Teeth is ending is, we've lived long enough now that we've been seeing the start and finish of things that we enjoy, whether it's content creators, bands, YouTubers now, which is something that, YouTube's been around for what, almost 20 years now?
Almost 20 next year.
That is insane. But like, everything has a lifespan, and until you see it happen in front of you, it's not something you think about. You don't think about YouTubers retiring or big YouTube channels, I guess it's a company, shutting down completely till it happens.
Weirdly enough, in the back of my head, ever since high school, I always thought about YouTubers retiring, but I think it's partly because a good portion of the YouTubers I would watch were older people. They were already in their 30s.
Right.
Ironically enough, a lot of those people are still going, which is funny. But I never thought Rooster Teeth would be one of the ones that stops. And here we are.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was pretty much the main news I have. We have one more. I don't want to call it an elephant in the room because it's not really an elephant, but it is in the room, and it's the fact that we have a McDonald's. Yeah. Isn't that interesting?
Here's they had this cool art for the nuggets. That's it, and then all the fries and some of the bags. Like some of the bags have art on it, but I haven't got one. It just says McDonald's.
If you don't know what McDonald's is, shame on you for being an anime fan.
Yeah.
It's the classic, the way anime rebrands McDonald's and any other show so they can avoid the copyright stuff. McDonald's essentially embraced it and made an ad campaign around it, to my knowledge. I honestly don't know too much about it, but that's like the gist of it from what I understand.
I really like when companies embrace stuff like this.
If you open
The
right here,
McDonald's
it says,
sauce?
At McDonald's, McNuggets become Wick Nuggets, and there's the sauce.
Wick Nuggets?
Yeah. And it's some kind of chili sauce.
I didn't try the sauce.
Yeah.
I just had a normal hamburger that I always get.
Yeah.
I think that's hilarious.
Yeah. It honestly is. I don't know what sparked them to do this. There was no big crossover that they were doing, from what I understand.
Probably because people are like really into anime stuff.
I guess.
Also, they had anime shorts, which is by can't remember which studio, but it's an actual studio they hired
Oh, really?
to do the shorts.
I think the only anime shorts that I've seen is from that Nintendo DS training game where you're like learning how to be a McDonald's employee.
Yeah, but no, if you, like they air them on Twitch. If you're ever on Twitch,
I see.
Yeah.
I think I've seen one ad, but I didn't realize it was like a little short. I just thought it was an ad that I was watching.
Yeah, it's technically an ad, but like it's a full animated.
I guess, yeah. I mean, it's all technically an ad, isn't it? But when you think about it.
But also, they also have codes for Fortnite maps. If you buy off the app, you get a code for a Fortnite.
Can I go to the Devil's a Part-Timer world? Which is just Tokyo.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? I think it's funny how it's like it already was essentially advertisement for McDonald's for these fake McDonald's names.
Yeah.
And now it's like they just legitimized the advertising in these fake worlds. Anyway, it's funny. It's good stuff. Good job, McDonald's. Kudos to you for that one. I don't know why you did it, but hey, here we are. We're in this timeline. We made it.
Yeah, we made it.
Not speaking of timelines just yet. We'll get there in a second. Wink, wink. We're going to talk a little bit about our seasonal anime. This will be the last little brief conversation we have about seasonal anime. Next time we go into full-on seasonal review status with our suit coats and our papers. I don't know how much it'll be changed from the last time we've done it, but
yeah,
probably not.
Probably not a lot, but look forward to that. But before we do that, let's just briefly talk about shows we haven't yet talked about over this season. Does anybody want to jump into it first?
I will.
Okay, go for it, Thane.
I like Solo Leveling.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Tell us more.
It's kind of like what I like to call reverse isekai, where the fantasy invades you.
I like the way you put that.
Yeah. It's where these gates open and regular weapons are ineffective, so they have to use like RPG weapons. And this one kid is like, actually first you get a rank from magic and you can't level up that rank. So if you're E rank, like the main character at the beginning, you're kind of weak and you can only go to E level dungeons permitted by the dungeon committee or whatever it is. It's all government sanctioned, obviously. And the main character, spoilers, he dies in the first 2 episodes. But he unlocks the admin mode or the player mode, like he becomes the player in this little game, and he can level up. No one else can, just him.
That's the thing that's always been the most fascinating thing to me about the whole story. And I'm imagining that the anime is going to end as roughly where I left off on the manhwa, so I'm still not going to get the answer to it. But yeah. It's fun. Yeah. I enjoy it. The big great part about it's from the beginning. Like when I was reading the gosh dang, I can't. There we go. Where are my notes? Sorry. The big thing that I remember from the manhwa was just the art was always so good. Like it was really incredible and impressive. And I think the anime has done a decent enough or good job of adapting good art moments.
Isn't it ufotable?
Definitely not ufotable.
Oh, it's not ufotable.
Definitely not. I think it's
A1. Oh, it's
I think
A1
it's A1.
pictures.
Yeah. There are some moments that I'm watching and I'm just like, yeah, they kind of just one for one took the panel and just did a slow pan up And so that's a little awkward at times if you know kind of a thing. I don't think it's like that noticeable if you're just an anime only, but if you did read the manga, I think, or manhwa, I think you pick up on some of that stuff. There was one thing in this most recent episode as well that
great fight in that episode.
Yeah, and it is right before the fight. You see the main character, kind of do like little hops and stuff.
Yeah.
Isn't that like what Goku does?
Yeah, it's a Goku thing.
That was not in the manhwa, so a lot of people are speculating that was like a quick little throw in as a tribute essentially to Toriyama.
It'd be
too really
timely.
Quick, but like it was what, a half a second thing.
I think that's just a common thing anime characters do. They hop up to get hyped up.
It wasn't in the manhwa though, so that's the reason why
Probably
people
just
thought
added
that.
animation.
Yeah.
For
I'll keep my head canon and think it was a tribute to Toriyama.
Sure.
But yeah, Solo Leveling, it's a good one. I concur with Thane.
Yeah, I enjoy it as well. My average anime that I picked is called The Unwanted Undead Adventurer.
Wait, what is this? I don't think I've heard you say a word about this the entire time this season.
It's because everything's just so average. Just like, I guess I'll pick
it's
this
January.
one.
It's the first season of the month.
Of the year.
Excuse me. Everything is so average except for the 2 or 3 shows that aren't.
The absolutely goated shows.
Yeah, so it's just like, I guess I'll keep watching this one. And this show's not bad by any means, but it's like essentially this adventurer, episode 1, goes into a cave and dies. And now he is a skeleton for some reason. And now he just kills things. And the more he kills things, the more human he becomes, essentially.
Oh, that's cool.
Until
It's kind of. It sounds like the Mummy too.
He can't. I don't think he can become human again. He can become a vampire though.
Okay.
Because he needs to eat blood or he goes psycho.
Interesting. So is it like that dark kind of writing that he's like, oh, am I killing things, or is it just kind of not?
Not really. He's kind of
Okay.
a nice guy. He just kills things and then has to drink a little bit of blood or he'll go psycho.
He's not like sitting there living with the facts that he's killing things. He's kind of just whatever.
No, yeah. Well, like the first episode, he's killing slimes and then he kills a skeleton. And
Oh, so it's never been like kill a human.
no, he becomes a ghoul. Well, he does kill humans.
Oh,
He has killed them because,
they're bad guys.
well, see, here's the thing. I actually think that was Solo Leveling, not this one.
Getting mixed up with a better show.
Yeah, it's bad. But anyway, it's he starts as a skeleton, then he becomes a ghoul, and then eventually he talks about becoming a vampire. So it's the chick he lives with has really big boobs.
Of course.
Nice.
I don't know.
Welcome to anime.
Guess don't watch it.
You're still going strong with it.
It's like one of those, well, I got nothing else to watch. I guess I'll catch up on the 3 weeks I missed.
I got nothing else. Oh, man. Well, I want to briefly talk about one, but then focus all on a different one. My briefly one real quick is Classroom of the Elite Season 3. This has been really interesting because I watch this anime and I love it. I'm just like, let's go. I'm all for it. Anything that happens in it, let's go. I'm doing the classic, like I'm yelling back at the TV because I'm so into it. And apparently, and this is very new to me that I'm learning, apparently the fans of Classroom of the Elite do not like the anime compared to the light novel. They don't think it's that good of an adaptation compared to the light novel. This triggered me to go open up volume 1 of the light novel to start reading to see. And I don't know if I like the light novel. Granted, I'm only like 6 chapters in, but the main character is not the same main character. It is, but not, because you get his internal monologue in the light novel where you don't get in the anime. In the light novel, he's just constantly being all like, man, that girl's kind of cute, actually. Like, whew. And in the anime, he is not that. He's almost like asexual, where he just doesn't give a crap about anything. So it's very, very interesting take.
Jarring.
Very jarring for me.
Yeah.
I honestly kept thinking maybe this source that I found this light novel on is not the actual source.
It's poorly translated.
No, I think it is the actual source, but I keep thinking, like, what if this is like some fanfic that somebody just rewrote, put themselves into? I don't know. I don't think that's what it is, but I'm pretty sure it's legit. But yeah, that's interesting. I'm probably gonna keep trying to read the light novel, but the anime is still peak in my opinion. And the other thing, I guess I'll flip flop, but that was my mostly talked about. This will be my brief one, and it's The Dangers in My Heart season 2. When season 1 came out almost a year ago at this point, I think it was summer last year. Me and Thane both watched it. We both talked it up. Super great. I read the manga. Super great. Season 2, really good still. Honestly, the animation's still great. The story's still fun, and I really enjoy it. Good stuff. Not what you think it's going to be from episode 1, that's for sure. And if you just want a cute, wholesome story, then go for it. It's a win.
Yeah, they kind of dropped the kid who wants to kill people part real fast.
Real fast.
Yeah. I think I like it for it better because if it kept going like that, it's like, God, this kid's not likable.
It would be very unlikable. Yeah. And like it does come back every now and then, but it's like it's almost like him, like the author slowly trying to retcon that by making him grow past that essentially. Yeah. But it was
now
like
he has
heavy
like now he has like beautiful men in his head. What I mean by that is that
I know what you're talking about.
He envisions like a better version of himself in his head.
A super hot version of himself.
Super hot version of himself.
And that's how he gets through his hard situations. It's not all the time, but he does pop in every now and then.
He gets it from reading a shoujo manga.
Yeah, that's right, because he borrowed it from the main girl.
Yeah.
Yep. Fun show. I'd watch it if you guys like romance and want a nice, wholesome romance story. But that pretty much does it for our seasonal talk, our news talk. It is now time to get into our anime discussion. And this time, like we said at the beginning of the show, we watched 2 movies called
To Every You I've Loved Before and To Me, the One Who Loved You.
All right. Before you really talk about and tell us what this show is about, I want to throw one thing out to make our discussion so much easier, okay? We're going to call them not their names. We're going to call them Blue and Pink.
Okay, yeah.
They've got cover arts. One of them has a blue theme. The other one's got a pink theme, okay?
They also got short names by Japanese, but I don't remember.
We're calling them Blue and
Is
Pink.
Glasses Girl pink?
No, she's blue.
Okay.
She's blue.
And,
that's all I need to know.
And the other girl's
Ghost
pink.
Girl is pink.
Okay.
Ghost Girl pink, Glasses Girl blue. Ghost guy.
Also, before we start, which one did you watch first? Because Thane and I watched the same one first. Did you watch Blue
I watched
Pink?
Pink first.
So you watched Ghost Girl.
I watched Ghost Girl
So
first.
this whole show made way more sense to you than it did me and Thane.
And so I want to preface this. Thane did tell me to watch Pink first. I was already like 20 minutes in, or I don't know. I was looking for the Pink one first already. So I was planning on watching Pink first. And I see what you guys are saying about it makes more sense. I get what you're saying. I disagree. I don't think it really matters which order you watch them in. I saw so many people in online comments saying to watch Pink first, but then I go into the comments specifically of Pink, and so many people are saying, this made no sense to me. Watch Blue first. So I think I don't think it matters.
See, I was so confused because I watched
both.
I watched Blue
You need
first.
to watch both to make sense.
I think that's
Right.
it. I think you just have to watch both.
It didn't click for me until about like maybe halfway through Pink, where I was like, okay. I was so freaking lost. Anyway, I'm going to try to explain this as best I can. It's really confusing, but I'm going to start with Pink because that's the one. I'm going to start with Blue because that's the one I watched first.
Wait, no, you watched Pink first. Wait.
Glasses Girl.
Oh, you did
Blue.
watch Blue first. I watched
Okay.
Pink first. My bad.
Okay.
Sorry.
So there's a main boy. He gets caught up with learning about parallel realities and I guess time travel because he does go back and forth.
Once.
One time travel moment at the very end.
Yeah.
Depending on which one you watched first, right?
Yeah, technically, yes. only two worlds. Only one of them actually does
Right,
time travel
right.
shenanigans.
You're right.
And it's not even like a big change, if I'm being honest.
So in Blue, he meets a girl with glasses, and she's like, "Hey, I like you. We've been dating." He's like, "I've never met you once in my life. Who the hell are you?"
Dude, I like you. We've been dating. It's like I've never met you before.
Who are you?
It's like what?
Anyway, he ends up falling in love with Glasses Girl, and they live their whole life. They're both really smart, and they start messing with parallel realities and reality jumping. At the end of that one, he is an old man with the glasses girl, and he has something in his phone that says, "Hey, go to this spot." Actually, I think this was at the beginning of Glasses Girl of Blue.
Kinda. They do a weird out of order thing right at the very beginning, but yeah, you're not wrong.
Anyway, he goes to this crosswalk and he sees a girl there, and she's like, "You came for me," or whatever. And then I don't know if he really.
No, she wasn't there. There was nobody there when he got
blue?
there. In blue, yeah, in blue, there was nobody there when he got there. He goes back. He's like, I don't know what I was there for. I did meet someone eventually, but I don't think that's who I was supposed to meet.
Right. Okay, that's true. See, I'm just confused. I'm melting them both together, which is how it should be anyway. But so Blue, he's with Glasses Girl. They mess with parallel realities. In Pink, he is at his dad's work because his parents got divorced, and essentially that is the moment that splits the realities. Is the divorce. He either goes with his dad or he goes with his mom, and depending on that, it changes his entire reality. There's where the two worlds come from. And in Pink, he is with his dad, who works at like a scientific place. They have a machine that looks like a tanning bed that helps you blip into different realities. So he's with this girl. We're gonna call her Pink Girl. He's with Pink Girl. I don't even remember her freaking name.
Shiori.
He's with Shiori. They fall in love, and they're still kids. Like they're older kids at the point, but essentially they wanted to. I think that her parents got divorced, so she wanted to slip into a reality where her parents were together. They're in that, or she's in the tanning bed.
No. So she wanted to go to. So her parents divorced, and her mom is marrying the boy's dad.
Yeah,
and
that's
so
why they jumped in.
So it's like, oh, let's go to reality where we're not siblings-in-law,
so that we can.
Okay, right. That's what it is.
Get together.
So they don't want to be step siblings in love.
Yeah.
So they go into the tanning bed together. They both go to different realities, and the boy comes back to the tanning bed reality.
Girl gets hit by a car.
Yeah, the girl dies in her reality, so her body in tanning bed reality is stuck in limbo.
Yeah.
So then he spends his whole life trying to save or to get her
so
back.
I like the fun fact his dad gives, like, hey, even if you and me are still gonna marry, you two can marry too.
Yeah, let's go
Dummies.
domestic girlfriend.
Dummies.
They got it.
It's like, and he like just breaks down and cries, and I laugh my ass off. I know that's not the best thing. It's like when I first like, wait. And they didn't know, like, it didn't really visually represent it, but they were like 12 at the time, so they didn't know.
I thought they were like 14.
Yeah,
they were
I
in
don't know.
junior high.
I don't know. They just didn't know that step siblings can also marry. And so it's like, wait, don't they know?
I don't blame them.
Yeah.
I don't blame them one bit. That's not a normal thing.
No.
Yeah, do they know?
So
and then the dad's like, no, they didn't.
Anyway, main boy spends the rest of his life. He actually meets Glasses Girl. And that's kind of how the two movies go intertwine. You also see ghosts. You see like these, I think it's in one, maybe two scenes, but you see like this weird squiggly apparition in Blue Girl movie. And you're like, what the hell is that? It doesn't really get explained. But it's the ghost girl in Pink.
Yeah, on the crosswalk.
You're right. So anyway, going back to Pink movie, main boy meets Glasses Girl, and they fall in love, and she kind of gets the shaft because he's like, hey, like, I just want to do this parallel reality thing so I can get to a reality where I don't remember her. And so she's always player 2.
It's like they want to go to a reality where, not that they don't remember, but that they never met.
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah, they never met.
So there's a bunch of weird science-y stuff in there. The ending is very interesting and slightly up to interpretation. This is the way that I interpret it. We see old guy old main character. It's funny. I don't remember the dude's name. I remember the girl Shiori and like Kazune, but I don't remember the dude's name. Anyway, he goes to the intersection. Nobody there. There's no ghost or anything. All of a sudden, he shifts. He shifts to a new world line, and then he meets old Shiori, who's not married to him or anything, but she lived. He goes back and meets with his wife, and so what I'm assuming happened is the world lines merged. I think that's what they're trying to imply, because they set that up earlier that the world lines were getting closer and closer together. Granted, they don't have to have merged. They could just literally be a world line where he didn't meet her, and that's kind of where he ended up.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so that's kind of how I interpreted it. They just ended up in a world line where they didn't meet, and those two ended up getting married, and Shiori's off on her own doing her own life stuff. And it's happy for everybody, essentially, in the end. Do we want to get like into the science-y aspect of it or the actual story aspect of it? Because I got both conversations in my brain, if whatever you're down for.
Go for it. Either one.
Oh, one thing to note, that tanning bed doesn't actually do anything. It doesn't work how they want it to. It literally doesn't work up until like in the future when they become more sciencey and start doing stuff with it. When they were kids and doing it, they just happened to shift. It was just a fluke, essentially. They did shift back then. The interesting thing about the sciencey stuff is just the infinite amount of parallel worlds and how every single you from those worlds are slight deviations of you currently. So every you in your own world is the 0. And if you go to another world, you're not the 0, you're the 1, 2, 3, 4, etc., etc. And then what the boy does at the end is he shifts his mind to the past. And that was the whole point, because it was going to leave him brain dead, essentially, because he doesn't actually shift over and swap places. He literally just goes to the past and leaves his mind there. Very similar to like Steins Gate. Granted, that's all within the same world. This is not. This is shifting lines. And then his memories are essentially bottled up in Blue Movie Boy's brain from like when they were children, essentially, all the way to when he goes to that intersection when they're adults. And that's why when he gets there, he's all like, I kind of feel something about this place. And then he shifts and he sees the girl and goes, you look really familiar, because he does know her but doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of the whole explanation of that. There's some really, really, really cool things they do with it, and I love that they did it. They didn't do much of it in Pink. Blue's the one. Personally, I think Blue was the better movie because of the extra little things they've done. What do you guys think? What did you like better?
I think I liked Pink better, but maybe that's just because that's when it clicked for me. And maybe I should just look at this as like one big movie.
What do you think? What do you like better, Thane?
Blue. Yeah.
With the glasses girl?
Yeah.
Kazune. In theory, you don't have to watch both shows. I'm pretty sure you could watch one show and get the gist of it if you pay super close attention and really kind of catch the things. Because near like 3/4 of the way through both movies, they do a montage of what happened in the other movie. And you get to see essentially the whole movie in like one bite-sized snap. But the reason why I like Blue better is because, like I said, they use the science of what they made up for this world, and they use it to do some really interesting and clever things. So when Suzune and Main Boy are all married and grown up, they have a kid. They go to that festival-looking thing with it's like a zoo or something. A crazy serial killer comes up, starts killing people, and we see that Main Boy stops him in one world line, and in another world line, the killer kills their son. The killer world line, the wife, Kazune, she shifts over to the world line where Main Boy saved the son so that she could have a son again. They find out, obviously, and send her back, but because they had shifted and integrated so much, when original one came back, they never were the original one ever again. They weren't. They could not get the original one back. They were too far gone at that point. And so when the original Kazune shifts back, she's like 0.1 something. So she's never the 0. And so she goes on the rest of her life knowing she's not the original one for this world. And it's one of those things that eats at her, and you see it little pieces come back up, and it's so crazy. Blew my mind. Man, what a so crazy to me. But like, I love it because it sets up another thing that they can do because of the world that they build up, that main boy can tell Kazune, it doesn't matter. I'd love you in every single one of them. And that's where they get the title of the name. Oh my gosh. It blew my mind when I realized all that and I put the pieces. Probably my favorite part of the whole little movie thing that we saw, but that's why the Blue movie is my favorite.
Also, I watched me and Sky watched with bad subtitles, like horrible subtitles.
Oh,
ESL subtitles.
Yikes!
They were rough.
Yeah,
that would help.
Yeah.
I've got one more very interesting thing. So, at the very beginning, we see the main boy shift over. Main boy essentially shifts with the other main boy from the other movie at the very beginning when he wants to see his dog, right? He wants to see his grandpa. It's just the one that wants to see the dog that shifts, and then the one that grandpa died just showed up. Mm-hmm. So this is a really cool blink and you miss it detail. So this is in Pink movie. We see the dog run away, and the boy chase after the dog and then grab their dog, and then they walk away. In the background, you see a little girl kind of peek out and go, like, kind of frightened almost, and then it cuts away. In Blue movie, we find out that Kazune was saved from scary dogs when she was little from it's Koyomi. That's his name, Koyomi. They saved from dogs from a boy named Koyomi, and that's why she's like, I want that one. The one that saved me. You're not that one. Oh, my goodness, dude. Really cool stuff. Really good stuff. Yeah. It's just a blink and you miss it moment if you're not even, like, paying attention. I just remember when I'm watching Pink movie, I see the little girl pop up, I'm like, she's got to be important. There's no way she's not important. And then when they said it in the Blue movie, I'm like, really cool stuff. Those are my fun ramblings on this movie. I enjoyed the movie quite a bit, actually.
I really like the idea of having two movies intertwined like this. I think it's really, really fun. I don't know if the parallel reality shifting was for me. I don't know how else you would tell a story, though, with two different movies other than having something like that.
Well, you're gonna like this. You do it, but you put it in one movie and you call the movie Your Name.
That's true.
I do have some nitpicks with it. My biggest nitpick is the fact that the voice actors weren't very good, actually.
Yeah.
And I looked up their work. That's the only voice acting they've ever done, and that's probably why.
I noticed that. It's like, wow, glasses girl, Kazune.
Yeah, Kazune.
Yeah, she's not very good. She sounds very amateur.
All of the younger characters, I just didn't think were very good. And that is because they just probably haven't had a lot of experience. This is one of the first times I've ever realized, whoa, the Japanese voice acting's not that good in this, which was surprising to me. What was the other nitpick? Oh, I just didn't like Shiori. I didn't like her story at all of the whole him wasting his entire life trying to fix her and save her. I mean, I like the idea. It's just like, if you really cared about her, you would kind of do what she says and get over
Kazune
it.
in that world pretty much is just a domestic partner.
I feel so bad for her, dude. She got the shaft.
Yeah.
And she's definitely my favorite of the two is Glasses Girl.
I just feel bad though, because like I said, even Shiori is just like, give up on me. Why are you spending so much time? This is it. We're done. Like, just go on with your life, and he just doesn't.
She gave up when she died in a coma. In the coma, it's like, yeah, I'd probably give up.
It's incredibly sad, and it's a crazy. That's the one thing that Pink was able to do that was interesting with their sciencey stuff, but it ended up just becoming almost a tragedy. The Pink movie was almost a tragedy as a result, and the Blue movie thrived because it was not, and it was happy. So I would say if there was a correct watching order, I think you do watch Pink then Blue. So I do agree with you guys, by the way. I don't think it's necessary, but I think if you were definitely gonna be watching them both, I think you do watch Pink then Blue. That way you end on a more happy note.
Yeah.
You feel good.
You definitely feel good. The final little thing that I noticed that I had to say about this was, the song they used over and over and over again was basically like a remake of Married Life from Up. And every time, because they used it the same ways, they used it in upbeat moments, and then they remixed it and made it sad in a sad moments. I'm just like, every time I heard the little piano thing, I'm just like, I'm watching Up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have any other final thoughts other than while watching this, I was like, man, how screwed up would your mind be if you were just shifting in and out of realities like that? I don't think I could do it. I'd just go blow my brains out.
Yeah. And well, that's the cool part that Blue was able to explore, because they start like advancing their world because they shift over into other worlds and they learn from those worlds and then they come back. They essentially, these world lines start progressing technologically together because they have this unique thing where they can learn from each other. And like, oh my goodness, it's like so deep, and they didn't explore it very well in Pink, obviously. In Blue, they kind of scratched the surface of it. And that's why it leads to so many interesting storytelling things that we just didn't really get to. But we do get that one that I brought up in Blue that I thought was just so well done. It's so crazy. I really wish that was a series. They just take the Blue movie and just make that into a TV show. I'd watch it. I'd freaking love that. It doesn't have to be focused on the main character and the girl romance stuff. Just explore the idea of shifting over into other worlds even more, because that was really freaking cool in my opinion.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts, Thane?
Good movies.
What did you guys end up rating them? I know Thane doesn't rate, but like, what did you think as a quote unquote rating? What would you give it? Not a obvious. Do whatever you do. You don't always do numbers or anything, but
movie night, double feature movie night out of 10.
Out of 10.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'd give him a 7. I think the parallel reality stuff just confused me at points. So
also, you guys kept saying the Pink movie, and that's Japanese slang for a porn movie.
Oh,
so I hope people don't cut it out of context and says when you see the Pink one, and then it's like, oh no. When I first heard, let's call this the Pink movie, and it's like,
that's ironic. That's
darn
funny.
my cursed Japanese knowledge.
You prefaced it with the actual colors of the cover art. So
we're good. The cover art. Yeah.
Yeah, we no cutting out of context.
Now
in the
knowing
Pink movie, he actually he doesn't get the girl. It's like
he doesn't. Yeah, actually, he kind of just goes off on his own.
That's a sad wank right there.
Well, with that context, the way I rated them, I gave the Pink movie a 7 and I gave the Blue movie an 8, because I liked the Blue one that much better. I thought it just was that much better of a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot, I had one more. Oh, did you guys watch these back to back?
No,
I watched one night and then the other a couple days later.
I did too. I watched one on a Friday night and then the next on a Saturday.
I watched the Pink one a week ago and I watched the Blue one this morning. So
about a week ago.
So I had a good gap of like thinking about it over time. I kind of wish I would have watched it a little bit earlier, then I could have thought about it more, but it was more fresh in my mind. I don't know.
I figured you'd like these better than Thane and I would, just because you grasp this stuff a lot better.
Oh man, it wasn't until the Blue movie that I started jumping onto it, because like during the Pink movie, I was literally just all like, they're talking about the science stuff. I'm trying to pick apart the pieces that I need to know. Turns out you don't need to know anything about it in that movie because it doesn't really matter in that movie.
Yeah.
But in the Blue movie, it does matter. And so that's why when they re-explained it in the Blue movie in their own way, it worked really well. Oh, boom. That's what it was. It's because in Pink, they tell and don't show, but in Blue, they show and tell. You get both. Boom. That's why the Blue one's better.
There you have it.
Fight me.
Mic drop.
I think that does it for our episode today, everybody. Thank you all for listening and for watching. If you're listening on YouTube or watch on YouTube or whatever, leave a comment. Let us know what you guys thought about these movies as well. Let us know future things you'd like to see us watch in the future as well. And, hey, leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you're watching on the audio variants of this show, we appreciate you. We don't really see the information, so if you're leaving like reviews and stuff, I'm sorry. Maybe someday we'll try to get to those and be able to read them on the podcast. But yeah, we definitely appreciate all and any interactions. Like I said, we're not doing a watch along this time. I do have one in mind that we will be doing when we get there, but next time we're going to be going over the entire winter season of 2024, so look forward to that instead. And it'll be a double header or a week after week episode. So in 2 weeks, you'll get that episode. The week after that will be the 2024 spring preview. And then in 2 weeks from there, so essentially a month from now, we'll be doing the watch along. So look forward to all of that in your future. And as always, have a great life, everyone.
Bye.